Welcome to Shit Shoujo. This is a bi-weekly show where I mostly vent about the shitty shoujos that's out there. Please keep in mind that this video will contain spoilers for the manga. In any case, here's this week's manga, Watashi ni Shinasai by Toroyama Emma. The plot is this. Himuro Yukina, known as Absolute Zero Snow Woman, is a cold and observant girl. In addition, she's actually a popular cell phone novelist who goes by the name of Yupina. Sadly, with no other human contact other than her cousin, Yukina is unable to express more romance in her novels. Kitami Shigure is your so-called typical Bishonen who really is a womanizer, has fallen into Yukina's trap and she blackmails him, and they end up love acting for the sake of their respective secrets. Out of the gate, there is a random bit of the future where Yukina gets punched instead of someone else, and Yukina lamentates about her cheating partner who came to her aid along with the other woman. And it's honestly confusing as hell, especially when you first start this, because you don't know who these other people are, and they don't even get introduced until much later in the manga. But besides that, I mean, if you just take that out, other than that, the manga starts it's actually pretty strong. I mean, while it's clear that Yukina's cousin Akira Shimosuke has a thing for her, he's the only one who knows about her career as a cell phone novelist, which were apparently a thing back in 2007 or so. Now, it's presented as Shigure as a bad boy, as a womanizer. Like, he keeps track of the girls who confesses to him, who confessed to him, who and how they did it and when they did it, and the only person who hasn't done that is Yukina. And I guess he was about to set his sights on her when she found out. I don't know. But he also keeps notes on how to treat people around the school, for example, the ball teacher that nobody likes. So, you know, it makes him look better in, I guess, the faculty's eyes or his parents or whatever. But in order to keep his secret hidden, he is blackmailed by Yukina, and he's forced to do these missions for her so she can use it for her novel. Now, apparently she's the type of novelist that will do anything for her readers, including, like, blackmail a guy into doing these missions for her and putting it in the manga. I guess you gotta go in as hard as you can. Eventually, the guy falls in love with her, and that's when it goes from a good beginning, even if it's a bit awkward, to a really frustrating middle. The whole thing gets dragged into, eventually, who Yukina should end up with. I mean, it's really obvious it's going to be Shigure. However, she ends up choosing her cousin out of quote-unquote duty, and it's really awkward, mostly because it's her fucking cousin. And apparently the reason why Akira the cousin loves Yukina so much is because he was there for her when his parents died, and I guess he feels that he owes her or something like that. But I mean, plus he was really lonely, you know, your parents die, you kind of get attached to someone like that. But obviously she should have ended up with Shigure anyway, because that's her fucking cousin. Why would you want to end up with your cousin anyway? That's weird, bruh. No. It gets even more frustrating once the rival character turns into the friend, and then eventually she has her own love triangle thing going on, and then, like, it's like eventually there's this whole subplot where the cousin actually ends up cheating on her anyway, even though he's like, I love her, but her heart will never be mine, so you're gonna cheat on her instead. Okay. And there's that whole that's just one subplot out of many, and it gets even like, and then we get even introduced even more random people, like Yukina's kindergarten teacher, his girlfriend, and then eventually Shigure's little brother comes in. Oh yeah, and in case we forgot, Yukina is also a novelist, and she's, you know, having a little competition with this other, you know, novelist, a no novelist named Dolce. And then Shigure's parents are introduced for some reason. Is a important plot point, even though it really isn't. When you have this much unnecessary meat in most stories, it really becomes very clogged, and it gets really frustrating, especially when you step into Yukina's shoes and you're supposed to be Yukina. But here's the problem. Here's one of the main issues I have. They're middle schoolers, first of all. They read more as high schoolers, especially when they start talking about like more mature things, or at least imply them. And it's like, y'all just like got out of elementary. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why the fuck are you thinking about this shit this young? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't have experience with that, but it's very like, what? And then after a while, there was a point where I just really couldn't take it anymore, and I just said to myself, you know what? I'm gonna start reading this as if she's on this, as if Yukina's on the spectrum. This actually made things a lot easier to deal with, because the way Yukina reacts to things, like, oh, like usually in shoujo you have the whole annoying ass moment of, oh, what's this feeling in my heart? Oh, why is my heart like this? No, she literally doesn't understand anything about she it's not even just oblivious. It's like, is she even, I don't want to say right in the head, because that's fucked up. It's just more like the way, like, she wanted to be with Shigure, but she had to get rid of her first love, apparently, and her first love was her kindergarten teacher. Because the whole reason why she's considered like a snow woman is because she's really cold to the touch, and she has a resting bitch face, and a lot of people assume the worst in her, and she's just like, I don't fucking know, I don't fucking care, I'm in my own world. And I mean, it's not like she doesn't care. She is very much aware of it. She just doesn't know what to do. And apparently this was part of her phobia, where she doesn't want to be seen without her glasses. And I feel that's not quite right. I mean, the way she reacts to things and how she misunderstands things certainly isn't someone who's neurotypical at all. And I say that with the most respect. Like, I truly feel this way. Which is, I mean, of course, you know, it's fine to have romantic leads on the spectrum, because there is definitely a need for more representation. But however, I don't believe this was the author's intention, and especially Japan, since I'm not quite sure how they treat, you know, teenagers, especially who are on the spectrum. I'm coming out with my own experience, because, you know, of my brother, but that's Western, so you can't really do that. Another thing that bugged me is that eventually, and this is mostly because of how bloated the story is, Shigure's character pretty much goes away. Like, you don't see the trace of the womanizer. Now, granted, he is in love, and love can change a character, and does, but at the same time, there's not really much of a fallout for him. The story mostly focuses on Yukina and her pretty much downtime, but after a while, you're just like, I don't care. I want to see I want to see how he feels and how he changes and how the characters around him react to that. Besides, oh, he's nice to her? Oh, and they just accept it. Like, after a while, it was just like, I barely recognized him. I mean, a lot of it, the only thing that really annoyed the hell out of me was mostly the ending arc with the little brother, and it's just like, can we just end it already? Because his deal was that he treated their mutual childhood friend like crap, like as a kid. But oh, deep down he really likes her, and oh, he doesn't know how to express himself. And it's just like, I don't care. I don't know who this guy is. There wasn't any build up. In fact, Shigure didn't even mention to anybody that he had a younger brother until the actual younger brother arrived. Until the girl Mizono was like, oh yeah, he's back, by the way. It's like, who? And then boom, he has a brother, by the way. It's like, okay. And then the whole reveal of Dolce being the little brother was just like, oh my god. I mean, eventually she does
a little more damage in that one.
reveal to him that he was used for her novel. And there is a little bit of a backlash, which I like. But at that point, I was just like, I just want this to be done. I don't even care. Just get together already. I don't even care. Hurry up. So that frustrated me, and it honestly took a lot of enjoyment out of the manga. Like, it's just so bloated, and a lot of the subplots were just. I feel if they were paced better, then maybe I would like it more. Maybe if Yukina didn't register as someone on the spectrum as much, maybe I would have enjoyed it more, because there were certain parts where people were clearly trying to take advantage of her, and that made me majorly uncomfortable, especially since I just said I read her from the point of view of someone on the spectrum, and that just made me very uncomfortable and very like, okay, just get this part over with. I just want to move on from this. Yeah, that really took me out of the story, and that really pissed me off on more instances than one. It's unfortunate because the art is really gorgeous. Todoyama Emma really did a fantastic job on it, and the one of the things I really did like is how you can actually differentiate from the characters, because often shoujo artists, they tend to make same faces all the time, looking at you, Tanemura, Arena, and they don't have like really good character design. Usually they're very, very generic, but I really like what she did with these characters. However, it's kind of hard to tell when because Yupina, like I mentioned before, Yupina has this phobia where she doesn't want people to look at her without her glasses. And so, okay, fine, we get that. That's alright, that's set. It's, the payoff's fine. I like what they did with that. I just wish it didn't take so fucking long to do, or make the plot as bloated as it is. Anyways, but like, there are some instances where it seems where it's like, did she forget to draw the glasses on her? Because why is she casually, oh, okay, there's the glasses. So yeah, I mean, it's really nice, and the only good thing I would say about the bloated and longevity of the actual story and is how the art actually does improve as we go along. However, it's not worth it. It is not worth watching the improvements grow because of how fucking bloated the story is, and how frustrating it is, and how uncomfortable it made me. And it's just like, it's unfortunate, because this could have been a great story. This could have been a really good and really cute and endearing shoujo manga, but unfortunately it just dragged and it just got bloated unnecessarily. And it's just because this manga clocks in at 19 volumes. 19! Why should it have been this long? There's no reason. In fact, this manga could have been less than that. Could have been like little more than half. I mean, you can check out her other works. Her other works are obviously much smaller than this. But unfortunately, this shoujo is shit. Stay away from this. So, yeah. See you guys next time.